This is the story of our friendship. Take 45. Take 1. Kick it! I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Debra.
And we are...
When we met, though, I was Debbie.
And I was...
Kimberly.
I was still Kimberly.
Yeah, she was not Kim. Isn't Kim now.
Not
Don't
Kim.
call her Kim.
Possibly Kimmy. Oh, Burley. That's
Burley.
what I was.
You were Burley to me.
That's right. I was... Take 2. If we were to start all over, this is what we would say.
Yes.
I'm Kimberly.
I'm Debra.
We've known each other for a while. We met back in the day. We used to work together on a television show that was like a 24-hour channel. Got along great.
Yeah.
Great friends. We used to dance, sing, do all kinds of creative things together.
Like... And then I went up and moved down to Florida, from Minneapolis to Florida. Went there to find myself. Jesus found me first. My life turned upside down, and I needed to tell everyone right then about him because they couldn't know, or they would have told me. So I sent out a letter to all the people closest to me, including Kimberly.
Me.
And it basically just said, you need to know what I found. It is a love like you'll never know, and you need to know him.
I had lost track of her and then end up getting this letter forwarded to me. And super excited to open the letter and freak out because this girl, someone who actually was intelligent, was now a Jesus freak. And I was devastated at it. Lost track with her again.
And over a course of time, I end up at Bible school. I end up meeting my husband. We're going to get married, and I'm sending out invites. Again, I tried to send an invite to Kimberly at the last address I had for her. I'm thinking I would love for her to be able to know at least that I'm getting married. I know we haven't been in touch in a while. We've lost track. But I've got to send out the invites.
So I get an invitation to her wedding. It's in Florida. I'm in Minnesota. It's not going to happen. Turns out, I won't even go into all the details. I end up in Florida during the time that she's going to get married. I don't know how to get a hold of her, but I do have this invitation. So it's arranged that I'm going to surprise her at her wedding. Haven't talked to her, knows that she's a Jesus freak. I know that she's a Jesus freak. But I want to get to her and surprise her.
I love surprises.
She does. I didn't know at the time. So I and the guy I was dating at the time, we start to travel to her wedding in a borrowed car. It's hours away. And we get halfway there and get a call from the car owner to bring it back because he's met a girl and wants the car back. So I'm going to surprise her. She doesn't know it. We're on our way. We have to turn back. She never finds out that I'm on my way to surprise her at the wedding.
I have no idea. And a couple years pass. I graduate Bible school. My husband and I move up to Illinois. We become youth pastors. But we go to a conference in Indianapolis over the weekend. It's a church conference. And right before we leave, I end up popping in a video Kimberly used to choreograph. We had done a dance together, and I see this video, and I'm like, what happened to Kimberly? Lord, what happened to Kimberly? Where's Kimberly? It all started with, where's Kimberly? Boom, 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 boom. Plus 2 equals boom, boom, 2. The next day, I'm in Indianapolis. We're going to sleep that night. Mark leaves the TV on. I wake up at 2:30. I hear a familiar voice. It's Joyce Meyer. And I go to shut off the TV, and Kimberly is sitting on the front row. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Is she saved? Does she know Jesus? Why is she at this meeting? What's happening? Mark, wake up. And the next thing I know, the next day I'm going back to Illinois, and I'm on the phone trying to find out what happened to her. Where is she? I go ahead and look her up, but she's unlisted. I call the church directly. And I say, I know this is a long shot. Please understand me. I'm in ministry. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a crazy person. I'm just trying to find a friend of mine from years ago. This is my information. See if you can get a hold of her, and if she can reach me, that would be great.
And I had also thought, whatever happened to her over the years? Those aren't bugs, believe me. She
It's
does
just me.
that.
I never used to do this. It's just a California
She does
thing.
it. And notice I'm not doing it. So it's not bugs.
That's true. Actually, she's used to it.
And just wondered often what had happened to her.
I worked at McDonald's.
You did?
Oh, yes. It was like my
Really?
job in 9th grade over the summer.
I'm sorry. And I get a call from the secretary who she had talked to saying, there is this woman who says she knows you. Her name is so-and-so. Her married name. I didn't recognize it. And she said, her maiden name. And I have a conniption. Debbie Bodegeimer! I'm like, what? Debbie Bodegeimer? She just called? Are you kidding me? So I call her And she tells me the story of how she came to track me down. And I said, I work here. I run the television department. I work here. You saw me at a Joyce Meyer conference that was happening at my church where I work. I am a Christian now. I'm a Jesus freak, just like you. And I find out she is coming to town, and we get to catch up. Is this how you beatbox?
So like that weekend, I'm going to Minneapolis. We catch up. God reconnects our relationship.
Reunited.
Because we are family. Now we've been friends before we knew Jesus. Now we're not only friends, but we're sisters in the family of God. And He begins to order our steps and keep us in touch with one another. We're going down the same kind of track in ministry, sharing songs that we're doing. Because she's working in the secret place.
Remember that song?
No.
Okay.
You're making something up.
No. Well, I usually do, but not this time.
Sharing skits and collaborating together on the phone and doing all these things together across the states. And it's every time I keep thinking, why aren't you putting us in the same state? We're doing so much work, even being this far away. Imagine what we could do together.
So I'm praying that she's going to move back to Minnesota, hoping.
I tried to move there several times. It didn't work.
Yes, so there were a lot of false starts to move back to Minnesota. It just didn't happen. I end up moving to Los Angeles and going to a church she'd never been to but had recommended. I get a call that there's a possibility that they may be moving to California. Her husband comes first and checks out the church that I'm at, and then she comes, and their first visit is on a Wednesday night. And we're all three there together in the pew.
And I'm sitting there in the middle of my sister friend and my husband, and there is actually a wedding taking place during the service that night, and they ask all the married people who want to stand up and renew their vows to go ahead and do so. So I get up, I'm excited, this is fun, this is a surprise, I love surprises. I get up and we start to renew our vows, and right before we do, I feel this tug on my shirt, and I look down and Kimberly's next to me.
And I'm in tears, and I said, Debra, I'm at your wedding. Debra, I'm at your wedding. And I'm crying. I get to witness the wedding that I had missed was...
And I didn't think about it until right now when she's saying this right now, but if she would have witnessed it with her old eyes the first time, it wouldn't have been the same thing as witnessing it with her new eyes. Because everything about the standpoint of what marriage is and what the covenant is and everything wouldn't have been the same thing to her at my first wedding. My wedding before we renewed the vows. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You would have looked at it differently.
Totally. I would have tried to talk her out of being a Christian.
She probably would have. She would have said, well, I made it here. What are you doing, weirdo? Because at the time, to her, I was a Jesus freak. I was. But then she became one, and then she understood, hey.
Yeah. So that's our friendship testimony. There's so much more to it. But we encourage you, if there's any God-ordained friendship in your life that you may be neglecting or you may need to cultivate, or you're seeing or you have seen tons of fruit from, then make sure that you don't take it for granted and do your part in continuing to grow it and mature it and find out what the Lord wants to do to it, through it, for it, and for other people.
And recognize it and acknowledge the Lord that He's doing something there and thank Him for it. And it really helps be praying together. Two are better than one. They have a greater return for their labor. I know that people use this in context of marriage, and it is what God has joined together, let no man separate. But when there's a divine connection of a friendship, God does do those things. He even sending out in ministry, He sent the disciples out in twos, in pairs. There's something about the agreement. There's something about the unity when He has put people together that is a very powerful thing in the kingdom.
So if you have any amazing God-ordained friendship stories, please post them.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions,
yeah,
let us know.
that'd be very, very cool.
That would be very cool. We want to hear your stories.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, S-Fit, sister friend, internal twin.
Yeah, why are we called internal twins?
Because we're identical on the inside.
On the inside. You gonna kick that?
No. Are you?
Better not. The funnier you look, it's probably more accurate.
I got excited. Your face lit up like I thought. Maybe that's like a real noise that I didn't know.
Okay, is this supposed to be serious?
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Our friendship has some serious aspects to it, but we're not really super serious all the time. And you know what?
No.
That's really funny because
People take us
think
really
we are
serious.
really serious.
I think it's our faces. This is what we look like normally.
We're intense all the time about everything that's serious and not serious. It's a passion. Yes.
Passionate.
We're focused
About
on our passion for everything.
a lot of stuff. Most stuff. Food. To Jesus.
Jesus for sure.
There's a couple of things on the very long list.
Well, I'm a drummer in my dreams.
Me too.
You're a drummer on the beach, friend.
I'm a drummer
Miss
on the beach. I'm
Cajon.
a beach drummer.
You're a cajoner.
Kimberly and the Cajonettes. All right, so
Let's do that again. She just did this and then this.
just kidding. Keep rolling. Actually, there's no one behind the camera, so me? You
No,
did.
she's. I don't know. That's not even nice. All right, oranges. It's a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she does an amazing goat, by the way.
Goat.
Remember?
I forgot how.
It was kind of by
It
accident.
was so good, man.
It
That was
was-
a good goat.
That was a good
That
goat.
was a good goat.
It was.
Shoot.
It was crazy
That
good.
goat will come back around.
It was
I'll get your
almost
goat.
scary.
It was kind of frightened me. You know when you scare yourself? Strangers yet friends and family.
Isn't
So,
that
it's
a
like-
cell phone plan? When I went like this, it was
That's-
a B.
It's kind of like the time I ate 33 pancakes in one sitting. You would think I would never have pancakes again.
Reunited.
Where am I wicked?
On your head.